What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I want to take a look at the Miami Dolphins offense, particularly in the second half of this Bills game. The offense played pretty well in the first half. We were running the ball well. We were getting other players involved. Defense, for the most part, I mean, a very injured defense held the Bills to 21 points. I think that's actually pretty solid, honestly, especially by the end of the game where we only had 2 edge rushers left on the team. So I don't really have too many complaints for them. But this offense fell apart, and it's not the first time we've seen it happen. And we're going to kind of get into it. I'm not going to watch what exactly happened in the first half drives. I have watched the film of it, but I'm not going to record it here. First drive, interception, punt, touchdown, touchdown. So in the second quarter, it felt like we were kind of getting things going a little bit. But then it just fell apart. And if you just kind of look, a 10-yard run, a 7-yard pass to Braxton Berrios, 23-yard pass to Hill, another big run, a 4-yard run, 7-yard run, and Devon Achane with a touchdown. Tyreek Hill only got the ball one time, and we also got it to Braxton Berrios. Like, we were throwing it to other targets, and we just ran the hell out of the football. Let's see the second drive that we scored on. 9-yard run, 3-yard run, 14-yard pass to Durham Smythe. Jeff Wilson, another solid run. 24-yard pass to Cedric Wilson. 8-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, sure. And then another one to Tyreek Hill for a touchdown. And I'm not saying don't throw it to Tyreek Hill because he's the best player on our offense. But my point is spread it out and run the ball. So let's take a look. This is our first drive in the second half, so the third quarter. We're going to get Achane in motion. I don't hate a screen here on first down. I kind of would like to run the ball. And one thing I like too is started to run the ball up the middle a little bit more, which we're actually pretty good at when we do it. Especially with Jeff Wilson, who's got a little bit more power to him. We also have Chris Brooks, who could also bring similar value in that regard. So we get a little screen to the outside. What do we do here? Let me get Tyreek Hill in motion. I'm going to do play action. And see, this play action might have worked better if we would have actually ran the ball on first down. Established the run again going into the second half. Because now you've got nobody open. Maybe Tyreek. Yeah, that's got potential. But the safety probably would have blown him up. That's been the issue last year and this year. When our offense is balanced, when we're running the ball effectively, when we're spreading, when we do throw it and we're spreading it to other targets, we tend to do a lot better. Tua gets a lot bit more confident. We're not playing behind the sticks constantly, so we're not making it harder than necessary on him. So we get Cedric Wilson and Jeff Wilson in motion. And we're going to hit another screen. So we've hit 2 screens and a little dump-off pass to a tight end. Haven't ran the ball yet. And sure enough, leads to a punt. Both of our scoring drives, we ran the hell out of the football. You know what? Just that. Look. All pass. Well, we did have a 3-yard run. No, nope. That's the touchdown pass. So yeah, all 3 of these were pass plays, and sure enough, we go 3 and out. Now we do get 2 runs here. Let's see why it fails. Let's actually do end zone view. Let's see. Yeah, at this point, they had kind of caught on to the outside runs. We were having a lot of success just running up the middle. I mean, you see this gap that's formed right here. I'm not saying completely abandon the outside run, but Buffalo's defense is very fast and athletic. Let's see what happens on second. It is another run. We got Durham Smythe lining up at fullback. Yeah, that time it's just the offensive line. Robert Hunt kind of gets beat there. Let's see why. All right, the D lineman, Daquan Jones, gets a hold of the wrist. Yeah, never really gets a hold of him. All right. Let's take a look at the next play. What is it? I think it's a pass, right? It's got to be at this point. All right, let's go. So we get Braxton Berrios in motion right before the snap. And that's a pretty tough throw. Catchable ball. Just saying, though, is this Julian Hill? I believe so. If not, it's Durham Smythe. This little delayed route here, that would have been a first down. Also, you have something working down here, too, with Jeff Wilson. But I don't hate it. Tua's made this type of throw all year. Didn't really get it in front of him. He was pressured like a motherfucker, though. Let's take a look at end zone view. This drive was really the offensive line dying. This one I can't really blame on Mike McDaniel. This is just the offensive line getting beat. All right, so Ed Oliver is going to swipe down Liam's hand and use that to get straight through A-gap. Yeah. Tua still got to make that throw, though. But there wasn't a lot of separation anyway. All right. Now we get 3 straight passes. We've completely abandoned the run. Let me 2 minutes down, 1 score. I don't think you need to completely abandon the run there. I think you can at least do 1 just to give him the threat of it. It just feels like a lot of times we stop doing what gets us success. And it's frustrating. We stopped running the ball as much as we were. And here's the thing. Running the football is all about momentum. If you stop running the football, you're going to stop doing it well. It's very hard to get that back going again once you've lost it. Yeah, it was just a really high throw. But he couldn't really throw it too much lower, though. There's a defender right there. Actually, not really. Yeah, he just missed. That's on Tua. Also, I'm pretty sure there were better options. Yeah. Is that Jeff Wilson? Now, granted, if he connects on that, then that's the best option you got. Tyreek Hill on a deep ball when you don't have a ton of time left. Barrios in motion. All right. Let's see. Got the running back. 2 potential blockers. Yeah. Jeff Wilson could have gotten to the sideline, stopped the clock. Instead, you just dump it to Chase Claypool. That's on Tua. Because I don't think this loss is on everybody, on just any one person. I think it's on Tua. I think it's on Mike McDaniel. Honestly, I think our strength and conditioning coaches have to come into play, same with our trainers and team doctors, because we've been injury prone for as long as I've been a Dolphins fan, like more so than a lot of other teams. So I feel like that's got to be a question. And I do realize that those team report cards came back a while back, and our strength and conditioning coaches and our trainers were seemingly liked by the players, and that's great. But I don't know. Results speak for themselves, I think. Tyreek needs to catch that. That's a catch he's been making all year. Yes, there are options. Braxton Berrios is wide open, but you don't really... Well, this wasn't going to get to the sideline no matter what. But Tyreek does need to catch that. I can't blame that purely on Tua. Now, at this point, obviously we can't run the ball. We got 40 seconds. And I will say about Mike McDaniel, I think a lot of times when things aren't going well for us, I think his play calling kind of falls apart. I think when our team is healthy, we're winning, we're confident, and he's confident, I think we see a lot of really creative play call and also him riding with the hot hand. Like if you think about the Denver game when we were just destroying them, and Raheem Mostert and especially Devon Achane, they were just going off. We kept running the football. I mean, yes, it's also to run out the clock, but we also just kept feeding the hot hand. And we've seen that throughout the year. That's just the most extreme example. But once you start getting a bunch of injuries, once you start to lose, you start getting into penalty trouble or something to that effect, I feel like there a lot of times his play call and his overall decision-making does start to get worse. And I think his situational decision-making, I think, is questionable as well. And I do think he's a good coach. I just think he's very young. I'm not saying we should fire Mike McDaniel at all. I definitely think we should keep him because I think if you fire him, he's going to get hired by somebody else and become an amazing coach down the line. I'd rather just kind of go through the growing pains. All right, so we're going to get Tyreek in motion. Little screen to him. I don't mind that. Get Tua going, get him an easy completion. Get Tyreek going, show him that he's going to be a big part of this drive. I like that. That's not a screen, actually. Just a little out route. I don't know why I called it a screen. You've got Tyreek Hill, man coverage. Oh, I'm sorry. That is not Tyreek Hill. That is Cedric Wilson. I apologize. Tyreek is up here. All right. Get that to Durham Smythe, I suppose. But this is 40 seconds left, man. I feel like we should be trying to gouge him for a little bit more than this. Or at least going toward the sideline. Was there any routes even headed that direction? No. You got the running back, but everybody is attacking the middle of the field, which I realize that, yes, that's what the Bills are giving up. They're playing cover 2 man, so the middle of the field is the place you should attack, and that is where the Dolphins are good at attacking. I understand. But in this situation, you kind of just need to beat their personnel and get to the sideline to stop the clock. And also, I want to say one more thing for our defense. Say what you want all year. Even early in the year when they were playing bad, when this team desperately needs a stop, they tend to get it. We needed one more opportunity for our offense to go try to tie this thing up. And they get a stop. They did. In a very, very physical way. They've done that all year. They gave our offense the final opportunity that they needed. And with as many injuries as they had, they held the Buffalo Bills, which I know, the Dolphins-Bills rivalry thing. We want to talk shit about each other all we want. But both of these teams are very good football teams. There's a reason that we're both in the playoffs and why we were both fighting for the number 2 spot in the AFC. There's a reason for that, because we are both very good football teams. And the fact that we held Josh Allen, who people were talking about as an MVP candidate, to 21 points. The fact that we held Patrick Mahomes, his offense really to 14 points because one of them was off a fumble return. Our defense is very good, and they step up when we need them to, despite the injuries. But again, when we really need good decision-making from Tua and good decision-making from Mike McDaniel, they've kind of faltered a little. And I'm not saying we should replace either one. And this doesn't help either. This is on Tyreek. This is a beautiful ball from Tua. Tyreek just drops it. We even get helped out by a penalty there. It's kind of a hospital pass. Mainly because he threw it late. This ball needed to be out of his hand now. And I realized he was stepping up away from the pressure. Let's see. He didn't need to. He did not need to. He could have just delivered this football. He's stepping up when he doesn't need to. I understand Austin Jackson is falling, but the pressure isn't here yet. You need to step up and throw this ball. Also, Braxton Berrios is right here. And so is Cedric Wilson. Let me see. Is Cedric that open before he throws? No, he's not. The linebacker's pulled because he's thrown. Okay, that's fair. But Braxton Berrios is wide open. And this is just a terrible decision. I don't like the play call either, this play design in this situation. But Durham Smythe, you throw this with some touch and anticipation. Actually, Jeff Wilson's the move. Because either way, this linebacker can't defend both of them. So the right side of the field needed to be red. And yeah, of course it is. Just count the heads. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders with 3 receivers on this side. It's just basic math. Versus 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Well, really the high safety doesn't even really count. So it's 2 on 2 or 3-on-4. I don't know. So you throw it into double coverage, it gets picked, and the game's over. And you're doing this with Chase Claypool. This isn't even a good route. That's terrible. Don't like the play call. Definitely don't like the decision from Tua. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, I don't want this to come out like I'm attacking Tua, attacking Mike McDaniel. I think they both deserve blame, and I don't think it's just them. I think Tyreek also dropped some very catchable balls that were in big moments. I think the offensive line, I don't think they particularly played super well, especially in the passing game. And yeah, I think the offense as a whole didn't play great. Let's look at some numbers real quick, particularly with the receivers. Look at this. Durham Smythe, 3 catches, okay, but Cedric Wilson, 1 catch. River Craycraft, 1 catch. Braxton Berrios, 2 catches for only 9 yards. Stephon Achane, Chase Claypool, and Julian Hill, all only 1 catch. You can't do that. Like, I realize Tyreek Hill is the focal point of the offense. I do understand. But you've got to get other people involved. And also, 19 carries all day for both running backs. That ain't going to get it done, especially when we were actually running the ball well. Look, 5.6 yards a carry and 5 yards a carry. If you want to count Tua, 7. Which I don't. It's just scramble. But, I don't know. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.